Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to share the link in the comments. Oh. There. Sorry about the sound. There you go. Yay, welcome. Welcome. We are going to be drawing today. Welcome to everybody who's joining me. So we're drawing a handheld tool with moving parts. This activity is all about looking at fine details, finding springs and things and knobs and interesting things that happen with tools. We also will be reviewing and redoing, most likely, reflective metal. So maybe all of your tool isn't reflective metal, maybe none of it's reflective metal, doesn't matter. But if you've chosen a tool, some of it may be metal, and you may be getting that chance to review and retry that visual texture of metal. Now, I've chosen a hole puncher, a single hole puncher. I really like this little guy because I see a face. Do you ever go into the hardware store and just spend your time seeing little faces? This totally reminds me of the sand snakes from Tim Burton's Beetlejuice. Just need some stripes. So I love this thing. A little nightmarish. It's small enough to sit nicely on the side of the sketchbook page over here. It may not be in camera, just because that's how things go. I'm going to adjust this a little bit so you can see well. All right. Beautiful. Thank you for those 2 likes already. Wow, I'm off to a good start. Choose a pencil. Start off with a pencil that is light, like an HB or a 2H, something that's not going to mark your page up heavily. And we are going to observe our tools and see what's going to be tallest, widest, shortest. We're going to find our cardinal points, I call them, and plot those down on our piece of paper so that we have an aesthetically pleasing composition, that we're using the space of the page effectively, that our drawing is not too small, and that it's not going to run off the page. So you're drawing your tool. Again, what I'm saying may not apply to you because your tool is vastly different, and that's okay. So this is the time to really set it up in a pleasing position too. Kind of want to see that. I might just pop him this way. If your tool is sliding around, look at that. Oh, it's a snake. It's going to get me. That malleable eraser, if you have a squishy eraser, just snap a little bit off, a little nubbin, and I use it to tack down sneaky objects that want to get away on me, but I'm not going to draw that, okay? I can see the little bit of sticky tack, but I'm not going to draw it. I just want it to sit still. My table's at a slant, so everything wants to move around on me. Make sure that your light source is pleasing, is making you happy with how your lights and darks are looking. Yeah, all right, I'm not going to be fussy. I'm okay with this. So this is going to be my highest point. I'm going to put like a little dash. I want my tool to go here. The bottom one is actually longer. Boom, boom. Okay, so you have your cardinal points down. You figured out what's tallest, widest, biggest. Look at the general shape. Next, compare one part of the tool to the other. What's longer? If it's got handles, compare the length of the handles to the rest of it, to the other part, to its head, let's call it. The part that does the job, whatever that job is. Compare the difference. Look for those basic shapes, whether they be, maybe they're curved. Compare one end. So I'm noticing that this handle is out further than this handle because of the angle that it's at. So I'm going to get that in my drawing. I need to observe carefully. Ooh, guess what I'm going for this afternoon, kids? I'm going to get my vaccination. Took forever to get an appointment, but I finally got one. I made the appointment. Well, actually, my husband made the appointment a while ago. So there's some good news. That's very complicated over here. So I'm going to have to divide it. Okay, remember the fork prongs? Sometimes if you have something complicated, you got to break it down, divide it, and look for the negative space that things are creating. I suppose for those of you who draw really slow, this is where you want to put your time, where you carefully. Now, I like this character. I may emphasize my sand snake kind of look. If you are a student in my class who is enjoying this live video broadcast, I have my other computer up and you guys can comment in the stream, in the Teams meeting, and I'll read your comments there. So if you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. If you are not my student, just enjoy. So in regards to that negative space, look at the emptiness that's being created by your object. Observe that. Observe, compare. Is it closer? Is it further to something? And it's nice if you make a mistake. If you've been drawing lightly, like I said, you can easily pull that up without leaving any residual gray. Tomorrow, my students, you have a test day on the ancient Roman art history stuff. So I'm just cleaning up the really hairy, stray lines. I want my drawing to be crispy neat. Hope you're all drawing with me. If you're my student, that you are, what's this? This is like your 6th life drawing that we've done this in this course. A lot of this stuff hopefully now has become habit, that your the techniques, your observational, the steps, the process that you're going through is now second nature. Technically, if you draw, now I know we all draw at different paces, blah, 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 but you should have this done by the end of the day and submit it. You know what I'd love to have is an editor a video editor who would take all these things, these past videos that I've been making, and take the time to clean them up, polish them up, and then post them again. That would be nice. I'll make the content and you make it look pretty. All right. There's a whole bunch of crazy reflections in this thing. So I'm more or less content with the proportion component of this. Again, I don't want to spend all day on it, so now I'm blocking off the highlights, which is a good thing to do when you're drawing a reflective metal surface. Figure out where your highlights are, block them off so you remember and you can see them. There's a lot of reflection down here. And the sun is poking through the trees in my backyard, and it's casting a dappled light in here, which is lovely. And I also have to put down cast shadows. My little dude's up on its side. Just lightly block these off. There's a weird glow. And I don't know. Figure some of this out as we go, eh? It's for future self to figure out. All right. It's a mess of shadows. Okay, all right. Get a little bored of that step. Hello to the student in my class who just left a message. Yep. Oh, maybe she can't hear me. Boom. All right. So once you're mildly satisfied with the general proportions of your still life drawing, you can grab a darker, softer pencil. I like to go with a 4B. Dark, but not too dark. Easy. It's okay to erase. I've cleaned up my hairy lines, more or less. I'll go back over some edges, and I've outlined my highlights, my cast shadows, and now I'm going to start shading. Keeping something under my hand so I don't smudge the mess. All right, let's start with the hardest part and get it over with, right? Weak. Okay, so I can tell that this is going to be a challenge. Not impossible, but a challenge, which is fine. You want that. You don't want everything to be easy. So to make it simpler for my brain to figure out what I'm looking at, I'm just looking at small sections. So when you're doing the proportion part of the drawing, you're looking at everything as a whole. You're looking at the macro, the whole object, figuring out, comparing and contrasting the whole object to itself, and so on and so forth. So you're looking at the macro, the big picture, the whole forest. When you get into the value and the shading and complicated little parts, that's the point of this tool thing, is that we have complicated little parts to this object. Look at the micro. Look at the smaller areas, break it down, simplify it, and work in one little section at a time. And if you're a right-handed person, I recommend starting from the left side and working your way across this way, rather than starting on the right side and schmudging as you go. Left-handed people, you wonderful souls, start on the right side. Oh, that feels so awkward. And work on the way to the other side. From left to right, right to left. And just tackle each little part. I'm using a circular motion with my pencil so that I get the graphite into the fibers of the page. You know what? If your birthday's coming up or whatever, you think, get one of these mechanical teeny tiny erasers. It's a Tombow Mono Zero elastomer eraser. It comes with like little refillable bits, but it's nice to have. I just noticed that in my drawing, the alignment for the hole that the hole punch thingy goes through is crooked. They're supposed to line up. So I've gone super dark over here. I won't be able to erase this up nicely. So we're just going to extend his jaw because I still see a sand snake. Extend all this. That's why you got to be careful when you're drawing. And only the people who watch this video and sit with me through this will know of my major blunder. Ta-da! Oh, look at that. Fixed. It's our little secret. Mrs. Kiely made a mistake. Gasp. So remember that you are using value, the darkness and lightness of our mark making, to push and pull things closer or further away from the viewer, to communicate a sense and to create an illusion of depth and perspective. If you don't consciously use darkness and lightness, then you're not going to get an accurate drawing. You have to be aware and observant of how light and dark is affecting your object, because that's how you're communicating the depth, the space, the element of space in your artwork. Wish YouTube Stream had, like, you could put ambient music in the background of your videos, something to listen to. I don't think I can. Nope. And then if I play my own music out loud, I get nailed for copyright infringements. So I'm just sitting here all quiet, listening to sirens out in the neighborhood and whatever. So some of you may be getting to the point where you feel like you've finished this front part or part of your tool, and you can, if you want to, you can definitely go ahead, grab your blending tool and start working, finishing that job of pushing the graphite into the fibers of the page. Remember that the pressure that you apply on this tool affects its lightness and darkness. So if you don't see hairy lines on your tool, we got to get rid of those in our drawing. Don't see it, don't draw it. Oh, someone's coming to visit me down here. I'm live streaming a video. That's awesome. Just leave it there. Thank you.
She came over and got us donuts. I
heard.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you to Grandma. Can't beat those donuts.
Okay.
Was it all the same kind again?
Nope. There's one with sprinkles on it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
He got his favorite kind, the sprinkle kind of donut.
Can they hear?
Yep, they can hear, and it's being recorded.
Oh.
Ah.
You can put it on YouTube?
It's on YouTube right now, yeah?
Wait, really?
Yep.
Keep the chat on, I'm going to check. I really want to check.
You can check. I turned the chat off.
I will literally do class.
Oh, geez. I am so grateful that I turned the chat off. He's going to get bored real quick. All right, so there's lots of highlights on this thingy, but you can't really see them because there's not enough contrast being built up. And I'm going to create that sense of contrast by just bringing down the background a few values. And I'm going to do that with the blending tool because I don't want it to be super dark, but it needs to be a shade or two darker than what it is right now. And yeah, it makes my drawing a little fuzzy right now, but I'm not worried because I know I'm going to go back in and darken things and lighten things. The first layer is never your last layer.
Bring back donuts.
I know. I'm live streaming and recording at the same time. That's all right. Everybody has to let me know that there's donuts in the house. It's a big deal. Thank you, Grandma, for the donuts. You know what? I'm going to send her a link to this live stream so Grandma can watch. Oh, my goodness. It's funny. Families are awesome. There. Now she'll understand. Now I can thank her. All right. Okay, so I've darkened the background. I faded it out, eased off on the pressure as I moved away from my object so that there's a lovely, soft, gentle gradation. It's not a jarring, visually distracting edge to this. I'll finish up over here. Oh boy. All right, so I have, yeah, that's it. Yeah. I'm okay with that. No, my students are watching it.
Yeah, but for a bit real fast, I can change it. That thing.
Change what?
The thing, so I can watch it with.
No, I don't want you watching things. I want you to go to school. Go to school.
I am in school.
You're not paying attention to your teacher. You're not in grade 10 art. Go.
People are still finishing their quiz.
Okay, please, darling.
I finished.
Good. Now go to do something else that you need to do. Off you go, please.
I can't. Can you just unrestrict it for me? So I don't.
Oh, because I put it as not for children?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not. You're not for children.
You're right. I know. I'm not saying nothing wrong is in here. It's just it has so many restrictions when I put it okay for children. I can't change the restrictions midway through.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you could.
No. Sorry, not while I'm doing this.
Oh, and I can't.
No, you can't.
Oh, at break, could we?
No, darling. Can you please go up to your classroom upstairs and tune back into your teacher?
Yeah, I'm still in. I wanted to be in there for a few minutes and that was it.
I understand, but I'm recording. Everybody's hearing this right now. All 16 people.
That's very nice.
Okay. I'm keeping a happy voice right now.
Okay, bye.
Mm-hmm. Okay, bye-bye. There you go. Quote that one. Maintaining a happy voice. What? That was weird. Huh. All right. Is everybody okay? All right. Sorry about that. I stopped drawing for a while because my Teams meeting just pooped out on me. I have no idea why. That's a little annoying. Said it was too long. I hope that you guys who are watching in the YouTube stream, it doesn't really matter as long as you're still with me here. This is where the lesson's happening anyways, right? So as I begin to tackle the cast shadow of this hole puncher, I am being observant of how that shadow changes as it gets closer or further away from the object on the surface of the table or the sketchbook page. It is not one solid black shape. It does stuff. It's subtle, and you have to be really careful and look at it. You cannot forget, you can't omit and skip over the cast shadow. It's a key communication tool that artists use to tell people what's going on in this piece of art. If you skip it, then it's just some random floaty thing. I tend to pop all over the place in my drawings. Oh, that's my dog. He's bored. Good art takes time. You have to have patience. This is definitely a course, a skill that develops patience, perseverance, observation, creative thinking, critical thinking, skills that are important in jobs that aren't necessarily art related. Like, think of doctors and nurses. They're presented with all these different symptoms in their patient, and they have to find what's wrong with them. So they have to listen, they have to observe, they have to find, spot the difference. What's wrong? What could this be? Same with police officers and criminal investigations. They have to look at a room, see what's out of place, find out what happened, observe things, observe people, their little tics and things that they do that might give a hint that they're lying or they're telling the truth. So observation skills, really, really, really handy to have. Patience is hard. And sticking with it, persevering to something that can be a little time consuming, not monotonous. Like, we're enjoying ourselves here, of course. This is an enjoyable activity, but it is time consuming. We have to allow ourselves, give ourselves permission to take the time that good art needs. We're always rushing somewhere, rushing to do something, rushing to get this done so we can go do something else. Give yourself permission to slow down and take in what's before you. I know some people just slowing down is hard to do. We're so used to constant stimulus, entertainment with TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, and even I think movies and shows now they just rush into action, rush into this, rush into that, and they just don't slow down like they used to. I'm using a paintbrush just to clean. I've never painted with this brush. It's from the dollar store. I love its happy red color. Just to clean up the eraser crumbs. Instead of like using my oily, wet hand, well, it's not wet, but oily hand to smear and smudge, the bristles do less damage, less smudgy damage than my hand would. So I like to use a paintbrush. Plus it's fun. I like a little broom. Oof. So just this front part. It was a complicated part. I'm prepping myself. I'm hoping that the handles be a little bit easier, a little quicker to move through. But this was complicated. This is where all the details were happening, all the tricky things that I needed to observe and be sure that I got correct. Otherwise, I don't know, it wouldn't be right. It's quite dark in the background. If I don't get that, then it won't make this thing come up off the page for me. I have to be brave. I have to do it. Don't be scared of those values. Jump right in there. The answer's right in front of you. Just be brave enough to grasp it. Easier said than done, miss. Oh, I know. I know. Don't worry. I'm there with you right today. Now your angle's different than mine. Hope you're not like picking away at my stuff saying, oh, it's not right. I'm gonna let that sit for a bit. I'm gonna move on to the handle part. So 5 steps forward, 300 steps back. If you are one of my students and you really need a break and you're such a good person, you haven't snuck off on me, go ahead and take your break. I'm just going to stay in my groove right here. Keep chugging along. I will take attendance at 10:15. All right. It's quite the enlargement, eh? I swear this shadow has changed since I first set this up. And now I'm seeing, I don't know, now I'm seeing these lights through here. I didn't see those in the beginning. Kind of interesting. I'm not complaining, just observing that something changed over the hour and a half that I've been drawing this. Good old life drawings. If you're drawing flowers, like I know you're not right now, but if when you draw flowers, tulips, those suckers move around a lot. It's crazy. It's crazy how surprising. It's surprising how much a flower, a plant moves over a short period of time. You know, think of it. Those ones you want to work in sections. Get the tulip flower part, the bloom, done quickly, and then work on the rest. Because if you go and do the bloom first, get half of it done, and then go to do something else to it later, it's changed. It's moved. Yeah. I'm going to be over here now. Okay. Yeah, to my friends who are in Teams and in YouTube. I don't know why Teams kicked us all off midway through. Maybe it was jealous. I think it was feeling jelly of YouTube, of its 1080p high definition streaming instead of the potato quality that Teams gives us. So this is the cast shadow that I'm seeing on the sketchbook page that this tool is resting on. I didn't want to draw it flat on the page and get a weird angle. I really wanted to see its profile. So I've propped it up. I'm glad I did. It just makes the shadows a little bit more interesting. These weird reflections. Remember, shadows don't have outlines, so get rid of them. If you keep drawing using the same techniques, same old techniques, and you never improve and conscientiously try harder, like, okay, teacher says no outlines on shadows, and you go and outline your shadows and submit something anyways, even though I'm specifically saying don't do this, and you go and do it anyways because you've been drawing like that forever, you'll never get better. You will always stay at the same artistic level that you are today if you don't start applying the techniques that are being taught to you. Practice does not necessarily make perfect. Trying new techniques, applying new ideas, new styles, researching what makes a good drawing, observing the successes of pro artists, and then using that in your art, actually changing, developing, progressing. That's what's going to make you a better artist. If you keep practicing the same bad techniques over and over and over again, you're never going to get better. You're just practicing and reinforcing bad habits. All right, we got one big blurry mess here, folks. We got to go back in with our darks and our lights, with our erasers and our 6Bs, and pull out those greater ranges of value, pull them out, bring them back in to our drawing, because we've just kind of schmooed everything all together. And that's not what I see in front of me. I'm getting closer to the answer, but I'm certainly not there yet. And I did say I was going to take attendance at 10:15, and I didn't. So I'm looking at my Teams thing we're going to do just to keep for privacy's sake. Can you please type in here? And I will, it timestamps you, and I'll mark you present based upon your comment in the Teams chat room. Please and thank you. Beautiful work, kids. Well done. Gotta respect your privacy, right? Everybody needs to type in here. If you do not prove that you exist on the other side of that Teams icon, then I will mark you absent. Yes, I know a lot of people got disconnected. If your friends got disconnected from Teams, I don't know what happened. If you could, text them. I did call everybody back. At least I think I did. If I missed anybody, if you notice that your pal's not here, can you give them a little message and say, hey, we're still going, check in for attendance. They may be here in this. You don't have to leave the YouTube channel to go back and forth, I don't think. Awesome. Thank you for being such awesome people. See all of your names. I acknowledge your acknowledgement of our existence. We all exist. Hooray. One more day. When we get back to school in real life, please, I would love it if you would come by my classroom and say hi to me face to face and reintroduce yourself. Because some of you have never seen. Been with you for a month now, or actually just 2 weeks, but it feels longer. I don't remember your faces, or I've never seen your faces, which is tragic in itself. So when real life happens again, come on by. Say, hey, I'm so-and-so. Nice to meet you in person. It won't be weird, I promise. I guess in a way, I've been your student. I've taken a class, but we've never met. God, what a weird life we're living in right now, eh? When are we going back to school? Amazing question. You know what? I'm pessimistic. I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think we'll finish the school year online, but I am just me, right? I have no secret information. Whenever the Honorable Mr. Lecce decides and the Honorable Mr. Ford decide to make public announcements about the school systems, usually they Twitter finds out before we actually get informed as professionals. So you could follow one of those people and find out from them. These are my predictions. These are my personal opinions. They're not political opinions at all. They are just what I think might happen. I have a feeling to get those numbers down, because they're still pretty high, the COVID numbers. They're going down, but it's not so great. Our city is still a hot spot. Our numbers in this city are not good. Even though Ontario's and Canada's are going down, which is wonderful to see. Thank you to all the healthcare workers out there working your butts off for us, and to everyone who is being COVID smart and safe and wearing your masks and washing your hands and just being a good citizen, caring about the group. Anyways, I hope that we stay online to the end of the school year, just to get the numbers down. I would obviously rather be with you guys in person, but I think for the greater good, I think that we should stay online till the end of June. This is just personal opinion again. Then I predict that when we do go back, we will have cohort A, cohort B, with the online option of cohort C. They sent out an email like you have to choose whether you're going to be online or in person, and that decision is going to last you the whole school year. I think that's baloney. I don't think they'll make parents keep their kids at home if they decide. I think it'll be a revolving door again. I figure enough Karens will complain and they'll get their kids in and out as they see they need to. Yeah. Hopefully won't have to go totally virtual. I also predict that you're going to have two, and these are predictions. Please don't go to the bank with this. Please understand that I'm not the end. Like, I don't know for sure. Nothing's set in stone. I predict that you guys are going to have 2 classes instead of just one at a time. So you have 2 classes, I think, for 45 days. So you'll have period 1 and 2 for 45 days. You'll have 1 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. Then there'll be a flip. And the next 45 days, you'll have period 3 and period 4 for 45 days. And then late January, early February, we switch semesters like normal, and you have your new period 1, 2, then a break, period 3, 4. So that you will not be stuck with one single teacher for 23, 22 solid days. I can hear you cheering. Yay! Yeah, I feel like I'm getting close to the end of this. There's this texture that are itty bitty teeny tiny dots, like pinpricks, and I don't have anything that will get that kind of a texture back. And I don't want to use a white pen or anything like that. I want to keep my graphite drawings. The texture is the opposite over here. So this was closer to a 2-hour drawing It's a little bit more lengthy because it was a more detailed piece. If you finished a while ago, well done. Sign it, date it, and pop it into the assignment portal, please, and thank you. I don't think I've put a due date time on it yet, but I will do that very shortly. Just picking at this a bit now. Thank you for the likes, my friends. I always appreciate that small little gesture. It's a small token of appreciation, and I appreciate the appreciation. Alrighty then. I'm gonna sign this sucker and snap some pictures and call it a day. There we go. Thank you everybody for joining me on this tutorial drawing adventure of drawing a handheld tool with moving parts with graphite pencils in our sketchbooks. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel, click on like to express your thanks. And remember, my friends, stay awesome and be creative. Until next time.